pleased to be joined now by the Coach of the Year, John Cook. And Coach, congratulations winning this award, not just from the media, and I don't want to downplay the media in any way as a member of the media myself, but what does it mean to win from your peers, for your peers to say you did the best job coaching in the Big Ten this year?
Well, it's I think that is one of the ultimate things is when your peers recognize you. So that means a lot because I know how hard this conference is and how many great coaches there are and how competitive it is. And again, to win that award it's hard and it means a lot. So I'm very, very appreciative and there's a lot of other coaches that certainly could deserve it.
Coach, we talked when we had you on earlier this year about this team and just how young it is, immensely talented, but very young. What has pleased you the most during the course of this year as you have watched this young team reach the heights that it has?
Yeah, we never talk about being young because our whole thing in the beginning was we totaled up all the years they've been playing volleyball, and it was 137 years total. So we said, hey, we're 137 years old because I never wanted that in their head, thinking, oh, we're young. But the thing that I'm most proud of is that to win the Big Ten, and Coach Bob Knight always said this, and I remember this as a young coach. He said winning the Big Ten was harder than winning a national championship because you have to prove it over 10 weeks. You've got to do it home and away. You've got to do back-to-back on the road. You're taking long trips. I mean, it's not an easy thing to do. And the fact that they can maintain, that level of intensity and win a lot of close matches, especially on the road, for what I would call first-timers going through the Big Ten Conference. And you can talk about all you want, but until you go through it, you have no idea how hard it is. And so I think that is the thing I'm most proud of is that they were able to maintain that over 10 weeks.
Coach, when the country thinks about Nebraska volleyball this year, they will obviously think about the 92,000 people packed into Memorial Stadium early in the year for that match against Omaha. How important do you think that match was now that you're a little bit removed from it, just for the sport as a whole?
I think it was a defining moment for the sport of volleyball, and we've seen the results of it across the country. People are interested in volleyball, and I'm going to be honest that everywhere we go now, I mean it's these people are showing up. I mean it's like I feel like we're kind of like mini Taylor Swifts or something. Our players are, because it's people they come out of the woodwork. They're always wanting to get autographs, pictures. The requests to go and, for our players to appear and be in the public and go to schools and things like that has just been off the charts. And I just think it's this phenomenon started with that stadium match. And of course, you guys are seeing it with the TV ratings, the attendance ratings. I mean, we're blowing things out of the water. And so I think it's been a defining moment for the sport of women's volleyball.
It's been amazing for us, as you well know. You do head into this tournament as the #1 overall seed. You have just the one loss on the year. And I'm just curious. I know every coach wants to win every match, but the fact that you did lose and that you're not that far removed from it, in some ways, can that be a positive for you, whether to remove pressure or to be a learning experience or some other way that I'm not thinking of?
Well, with most groups teams I've had, that would feel like relieving pressure. These guys are so competitive. I mean, they're not happy about that. They're still talking about it. But you got to give Wisconsin a lot of credit. They played great. I actually thought we played better in that match than we did here in Lincoln, a month, 6 weeks ago or whatever it was. And there was some great volleyball again. Wisconsin just played really, really well. And so I think it was a good learning moment for us on what it's going to take going forward. And the level of effort it's going to require and how much you have to value every point, and that sense of urgency on every point. And so it was but we learned that from every Big Ten match we play. I mean, there's something you're gonna take away that they exposed, how they attacked you, and the mindset you got to have to win these matches.
So your team might be somewhat impervious to pressure from what you're saying. How about you, though? How much pressure is there on you this time of year?
You know, normally we've been number one seed before, and I'm a wreck. This year I'm not. You know, I don't know. It's you know, it's you know, there's 3 seasons. There's the non-conference, there's the Big Ten conference, and then there's the postseason. So we're looking at this is a whole new season. So all my superstitions, I'll restart new ones. You know, I'll change what I was wearing. You know, what socks or whatever. It's a whole new season. So I feel an excitement because this team that I get to coach, they are a very enthusiastic group. They're a lot of fun, and I think they're just excited to get to play another match, and then another match after that. So it's kind of like, you know, it's like buying your first house, or you're getting your first bike, or, you know, going to prom for the first time. It's just that excitement, that, you know, the innocence of it, and this is going to be a lot of fun, and, you know, let's go have a good time. And that's what this whole group makes you feel like. So I don't feel any pressure.
That's great. I mean, because you have made no bones about it that earlier in your career, you dealt with a lot of stress and didn't always deal with it well and felt like it was really tearing you up inside. How much of this, I mean, you've said there that a lot of this is about this particular group, but how have you evolved through the years to have that attitude as you come into what is the defining point of the season for coaches in your spot?
That's a really good question. We could get Kevin and do another documentary on, you know, the stress of coaching, and yeah. But I've had to learn how to manage myself better, and it's a constant struggle every day. But as you get older, you know, sleep is really important. And I used to think, I don't need to sleep, but sleep's really important. And I think the biggest thing is for me that I could share in just a quick interview like this is having a hobby. And, you know, we tell our players, you got to fill your bucket up. When we're not training and we're not competing, you got a day off, fill your bucket. What do you have to do to fill your bucket? Well, my new bucket's roping, and I'm looking at my belt buckle right behind me there. And of course, Kevin and you guys did a great job of documenting that in the documentary, but that's a new hobby. And when I go and rope, I'm learning how to be a better coach. I'm learning how to compete with myself, but more importantly, I don't think about volleyball because I'm just thinking about riding that horse and roping that steer and then interacting socially with the people I'm with. And I just think getting those breaks is really, really important. Otherwise, you know, it consumes you. And it's a great thing to be consumed by, but you have to have balance. And I think that's what I've learned over the years. And if I could ever, you know, anybody, young coaches listening, that's what I would encourage them to do.
I'm going to bring you back to volleyball for the last part of this, Coach. This is a program where the goal is always to win a national title. You certainly have a team based on the seeding coming in that many people feel is good enough to do that. What does this particular group have to do to make that a reality?
I think trust our training, and we got to continue to believe and know we've earned the right to be in this position. And of course, we're going to do this as all these interviews today, and you know, people are going crazy about it. But it is another match, just another match, and we got to keep doing what we've been doing all year, and be ready to win close games. And that's, you know, I did several interviews talking about winning the Big Ten championship. I mean, if you look at our season, we're 8 points away from finishing 5th. Wow. That's how close these matches are. 8 points. We won 8 points that we probably didn't win last year that separated us to be first from 5th. And that's what you got to do in the tournament and going forward. And again, we've been training that all year, and we have our systems in place for them to help them able to do that.
Big Ten Coach of the Year, John Cook, congratulations on a great season, and we look forward to seeing what the NCAA tournament holds for you and this Huskers team.
Yeah, well, it's an honor to represent the Big Ten in this tournament, and I know there's some coaches that are pretty fired up about how many teams we got in, and I'm excited to see how the Big Ten competes, and hopefully we'll have an all Big Ten final.
Sounds good. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.